Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We're happy to have you this evening, and of course, you should know by now that the Glenn Lall Show comes your way this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around this time. So I'll hand you over to Mr. Lall, who will make his presentation, and this evening we will take a few calls and a few messages, and we'll call it a night. It is Wednesday, so you know how we do it on a Wednesday. Mr. Lall, namaste, and over to you.
Josh?
Yes, sir.
Integrity.
Transparency and the fight against corruption have to be part of our culture. They have to be taught as the fundamental values of a nation. This nation called Guyana. Corruption, Josh, is worse than a virus.
Yep.
It is even worse than the COVID-19 virus that we have now facing the world. I told my editorial staff today, you were part of it, Josh, that corruption kills more people daily in this world than COVID-19. It is. Money was supposed to go to uplift people's livelihood, feed the hungry, buy medication for the sick, money that can increase people's salaries so that their blood pressure doesn't go up, diabetes, and the other illnesses that affects people can be remedied and people can have a better life. They would even live longer. Corruption, money. You hear me? If you get that money, Josh, you don't have to worry where the next meal will be coming from. You don't have to drop dead chasing your own brothers from their own land.
Precisely.
Who are trying to eke out a living, who are trying to put food
On the table.
on the children's table. We have to end corruption, and we got to end corruption now. Josh, and we all have to fight this fight together. I heard the opposition leader, Mr. Joseph Harman, talk my name a few weeks ago. I can get exactly what he said, Josh, and tell you on Friday. But for now, I can only say what I hear he said. He said, at first he hate me. You hear me? But now he like me for what I'm doing. If that is so, I am happy, Josh, that at least he coming around as the opposition leader with the reality of this country as to what is facing us, the Guyanese people. Friday, I can tell you exactly what he said and in the context in which he said. Namaste, Josh.
Namaste.
Namaste, Miss Harris, Raj, Anthony. I also hear the private sector bodies, the chamber commerce people talking my name too. Them like what I'm doing, but none of them want to come forward and support, back me up. I don't know why, but for now, I think they're pondering whether to speak out or not against this highway robbery that's going on in this land. With, you know who? No, man, I'm not calling the name. Namaste. Namaste. Josh?
Yes.
When you have a good product,
Yeah.
when you have a good product, a sweet thing, a thing that can really make money, man, everybody just want to get in. Not true? Especially if it's in demand. People join lines to see how they can get a cut of it. Ms. Harris, is the same thing with Guyana's oil. People from all over the world coming to see what cut they can get out of it. They want a piece of the action.
Yeah.
And of course, you just have to suss them out. Not true?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you got to suss them out one by one to see who's genuine and who's fake, who's trustworthy, and the dishonest, the corruptors. 15 trading companies put in bids to sell Guyana oil. Ms. Harris, out of that 15, 2 of them, the Kaieteur News already find out that there's a bunch of scams.
And there'll be many more.
They are crooks of the highest order.
Yep.
Corruption and dishonesty is their first name. All over the world, you know.
Yep.
And they come and put in bid here for sell oil. Mexico had already banned them a few years ago for corrupting their officials. We just found out that they were banned again only Sunday, gone. And they were banned till 2024 from Mexico. This time, the Mexican oil minister says they tried again to corrupt more government officials so they can get in on the contract for sell Mexico oil.
Wow.
Here what Mexico energy minister say. I had to smile when I read this story. Corrupt trading companies should not be there, meaning don't be in them country. Like I said, I had to smile when I heard those words that came out the minister's mouth. Because I have a question for you, Ms. Harris, and Guyana. When last you hear one of your leaders speak like that?
Not in my lifetime.
Mr. Harris, you ain't got to give them little paiwari for drink and beat the hell out of them
Precisely.
to get them to talk like
Yeah,
that.
peep.
Yes. If not, you'll never hear anything. You'll never hear those words coming out of their mouth.
Nope.
That they don't want scams in Guyana.
Looks like they want them.
They want them here.
Looks like they're encouraging them, to me.
We carried that
My
story.
opinion.
We carried that story yesterday in the Kaieteur News. Just to warn Guyana to look out for these bare-faced crooks and criminals. Yes, they're gangsters and tricksters.
Yep.
They're even ready to corrupt the taxi driver that will take them to meet our officials who are in charge of evaluating these oil bids that will be selling our oil. Ms. Harris, don't be surprised if you hear that one of them, same 2 companies that was kicked out of Mexico, is accepted with love by our leaders to sell Guyana's next oil shipment.
I wouldn't be surprised. And
We'll be looking.
I expect that.
I'll be keeping my eyes open. I'll be watching. You know why? It's too much at stake. Too much at stake in this country. You got to keep your eyes open. You two got to keep, you got to be watching them.
Absolutely.
All of them
We're watching
who coming
them.
here. You got to watch who coming to your house for your children. They will come all dressed up with fancy twang in them out. In suit and tie.
Yep.
And you're going to fall for them. Yeah, man. You got to look deep into their background. You'll be shocked. The Mexican government, Ms. Harris, went further to say that they will suspend work with any company found committing wrongdoings in Mexico. You hear that? Mr. Anthony, you heard me clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. In recent years, we found that the world's most powerful oil traders have faced bribery and corruption investigations worldwide. It spanned from the US to Switzerland, to Brazil, Mexico, Ecuador, Africa, the Arabian countries. Man, you name it. You name it. These people were accused of bribing officials.
Everywhere.
And somebody said that corruption will skip Guyana. Did I hear it in this room? Huh? Who said that?
Could never be any of us.
Maybe it's Mr. Ali voice that you're hearing or Harmon. Because their actions and non-actions speaking a lot as to what is happening in this country. Joshua, you leave me just now. Joshua, this is only one of the many areas countries get shafted big time. Is huge kickbacks this past year by underselling our oil or the oil. Oil, Joshua, more precious than gold now. You have different grades in it, different quality of oil, different quality of gold, different quality of bauxite, different quality of lumber. Yes. In the case of oil, you have sour and heavy oil with various prices. You can get heavy oil as low as $10 a barrel. But when it comes to sweet crude, sweet oil, like what Guyana got, like what we got, the best in the world, you should be getting the best price in the world. Not true, man?
Yes.
Yes. So always keep your eyes open on that. So when you hear the world market price is $60 and $70, with our oil that we have, the best in the world, we can get $70, $90, even $100 for our oil because it's the best quality in the world. It's the best thing the world has ever seen. We got it. So keep your eyes open. You know, if they hit you $10 per barrel on every shipload, which carries 1 million barrel, you know how much money you get out there, Josh? 10 million US. That's what you get out. So my friend, Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Ali and Harmon, you guys better suss out the best deals so the people of this country can live a little bit within their means. Yes, just a little bit within their means. Josh, you got to give me some space because you got to hear this one. I ain't talking about ExxonMobil tonight. ExxonMobil is my friend tonight. Yes, let me say namaste to all of them. The Kaieteur News, myself and many international experts have been warning Guyana about the money this country been losing out on and continuing to lose year by year come, just searching for oil out there. And we haven't heard a word yet from any of our leaders, any one of them. CGX. Josh, remember I said I'm talking about ExxonMobil. CGX, a Canadian registered company with Guyanese people involved who get the Quarantine and Demerara oil blocks, announced yesterday how they will resume searching for oil in the Quarantine block. Them they already dig a hole last year. I don't know if you guys remember. And it turned out dry. And they put $155 million American dollars bill on Guyana's back already. Now, Josh, they start drilling for more, telling us in their words. I'm going to tell you in their words.
Please.
Listen to me carefully. Today is an important day for CGX and their partners as we continue to make substantial progress in realizing the value of our investment in Guyana. You hear these people language? You hear what these people said there just now, bro? Yes. Today is an important day for CGX and their partners as they continue to make substantial progress in realizing the value of their investments in Guyana. Them get you Isle Blacks for free. Don't hand you a bill for $155 million US for one dry hole, where you could have done build the Demerara Harbor Bridge with.
Yes.
And now they want dig more holes, telling us through fancy language. They're going to realize their investments now. You hear that? The name of this one is not Lisa, you know. Remember I said not speaking about ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with Lisa 1, 2, 3 or 10. This one named Kawa 1. Kawa. In the quarantine block. Or Josh, if you can't remember Kawa, just say Tawa. Tawa is cook roti on.
Yeah.
The people said and believe this one is the most exciting exploration well in the world. You hear that? It's the most exciting exploration, meaning the area got a lot of oil. So they're going to drill more. And when they come up with more dry or wet hole, it's more 155 million American dollars on a poor backbone. Oh, are your old backbone going to have to fetch them money what they're throwing on you? Tawa 1, I'll call it Tawa 1. Is where they drill the first dry hole, and now they're going to drill another one. These people can drill, Josh, a set of dry holes, and all the money will eventually have to be paid by us.
Yep.
Yeah. Miss Harris,
Yes.
listen how they're boasting. The people say in them statement, we are pleased with the major operational milestone for CGX and their partners and appreciate the ongoing support of the Guyanese government. Hear that?
Yes.
Not the support of the Guyanese people.
No.
Yes. Major operational milestone for CGX and their partners and appreciate the ongoing support of the Guyanese government.
Government.
Beautiful, man. Lovely, man. Those are their words, you know. That's not Glenn Lall words. Their words from their statement. We carried that story yesterday. The people say, the Guyanese government, their employees, not our people, their employees, and their other partners, you hear me?
Yep.
They will maximize benefits for them and them stakeholders. You understand what I mean, Josh? Man, you really understand that?
Everything's for them.
The people talking about making big money for themselves, them partner, and them stakeholders with the help of the Guyanese government.
Yes.
That's what the people are saying. This Guyana is one of the many other things, the deals that we can change, that we can just make a 360 degree and change all these things. Mr. Jagdev went to Texas and said how he can come back and he can renegotiate, he can change them. So that Guyana can benefit something.
Wow.
So that y'all could get to live within your means. Nothing has changed, and the people them now boasting how they're going and drill more. Paying hundreds of millions to search for fish. Whether you find fish or not. Every cast net you throw, Josh, or them throw, Guyana paying hundreds of millions. This is a beautiful country, right? Yeah, man. The CGX people boasting about how them making money here. They didn't even make a proper investment. These people, Josh, come here, use we license for make money. They pan we oil black for get investors to come search for the oil and send us bills. Tomorrow we carrying that story. Tomorrow we carrying a story on the Kaieteur oil block. Forget about quarantine block. Stabrook block, quarantine block. Tomorrow we carrying a story on the Kaieteur block. The same oil block where Robert Prasad said he never meet the owners. And the lawyers who signed on behalf of the owners, he said he can't remember their names. He can't remember his name, the people and names. Even the liar name, the man don't remember.
Wow.
Maybe, Josh, just maybe, he's suffering from amnesia. But he's back sitting as Guyana's foreign secretary. Yes, interacting with all the foreign companies. Them players in the Kaieteur block is now saying today, Josh, that them ready for search for oil too. Them was to begin search earlier this year, but they said they get delay. So now they're ready. What do you feel going to happen to Guyana, Josh? Is more billions in the US will be thrown at us for every hole, dry or wet, rain, sun or mud on it, no matter what you find. All of you have to pay it. Just a quick note, Josh, let me remind you. You remember Suriname does not pay for exploration costs?
Yeah.
Searching for oil?
Yeah.
No, man. Them tell the oil people, keep them kind of costs and push it up where Pali put the nut. Keep space, Josh. Tonight I got a lot to talk about. You ever catch crab?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, I used to catch crab too. You just have to push your hand in them hole. And most of the time you don't get nothing, not true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do get, no more than 2 crabs, there's been a hole. Sometimes you just end up butting up with snakes instead of crabs. But when you touch a crab, and you say, yo, I have one, man, the whole posse that you go with, they jump up for joy. Just like ExxonMobil. Them find crab and Guyanese jumping up, thinking they're going to get a piece of the crab.
Wow.
But I may know that ExxonMobil eating the whole crab themselves. And not even a shell. Any one of you getting in this land. Now they got CGX searching for crab. They got CGX and Kaieteur searching for crabs. There's a couple fine crab they're going to find. And while you're sucking, while they share the one of the little tenter with you, and you're sucking it, you're going to be cussing or sucking your teeth. Because there's no taste to that. You're going to be sucking your teeth because you'll be getting 155 million US for each one. And the crab bone that you're sucking, the crab shell you're sucking, ain't going to taste good. That's what will happen to Guyana. Exxon done drill, remember, about 80. And we don't know what the cost per hole until now was or is. That has been locked away in some steel safe somewhere in ExxonMobil building overseas, or locked away at after the president. You know, if it wasn't for people like Tom Zanzillo and the other financial experts, Guyana would have never heard. Come 2024 is $8 billion American dollars that will be coming out from our oil money just for looking out, just for searching for oil out there, up to 2019, you know. Don't forget that. From 2019 to now, we got absolutely no idea how much more costs is to be added on for Guyana to pay. Just for searching, you know. You don't forget this word, just for searching. So Josh, don't get mixed up or confused. These billions of US dollar is only for searching for oil, nothing else. And none of our politicians saying a word about this ongoing calamity, disaster that is building up with bills and bills upon our head. I am not a Guyanese. I told you this, right? I told you earlier today, I give up Guyana. I am too ashamed to say I was born in this land. But Josh, keep space in your head, man. I got a little more to tell you, Alan, and I'll finish. Wow. Let me ask you, Josh. You ever hear about these two words? Cost overrun? You ever hear about cost overrun?
No,
Miss Harris?
not familiar.
And what it means, you know what it means? No? All right. Those two words is key to any project you set out to do. You have to be extremely careful with those two words. Many, many people across this world has gone bankrupt or left stall up or put in more trouble that they can handle with those two words. Cost overrun. Lots of cunning, scampishness, skullduggery, thievery does go on with them two words. Today, I had another court case with Winston Brasington, and he was asked by my lawyer, Christopher Ram, if the Vreeden Hoop electric plant he set up at the waterside had any cost overrun. If that went over the original cost. You hear me? Cost overrun means you have a price for a project, and the project can finish. It needs more money to finish it. You understand? So cost overrun comes on a project. When you set out to do a project. So when he was asked if that project had any cost overrun, he said yes. Josh, you hear me properly, right?
Yep.
The man was asking court if this project had cost overruns, and he said yes, but he couldn't remember how much. Let me explain this cost overrun in layman terms for you, Josh, so you guys can understand. You want to build a house. What is the first thing you do? You get a contractor. But if you get a contractor who never built one in his life, or you get a contractor who don't know how to provide a proper estimate to build a house, you got any idea what will happen to you? Huh? You got an idea what will happen to you? Yes. You can go bankrupt. Yeah, man. I know a few people who start building them house and left stick up for years and can't move in. It left halfway. Them still living in a renting house. You know why, Josh? Because they hire a contractor, can one. People who can you. Yeah. The contractor take all the money and disappear. Drive around the country and you'll see a lot of buildings still there halfway all over. That happens when you don't get an honest, decent, and proper contractor
Yes.
to give you a proper estimate. An estimate that will give you the right figures for building the house. We have a lot of that going on in the government. Almost every project, they're shafting you on it through those two words. Cost overrun. When you hear they announce a school for 300 million and put it big in the papers, the cost overrun the skill Guyana. But I never tell you about that. You see them roads they're building all over? Man, cost overrun does double the project cost. Them bridges were built all over. The same thing. Don't talk about sea defense. Them little breakaway, them sea dam and stuff like that. Man, them costs, when they put a 200 million cost, the overrun does be 300-400 million, and Guyana doesn't know about it. That is what basically is cost overrun. Every project you hear these people announce, you're getting shaft on. Just look at the airport project, the renovation them doing there. This modernized airport they said they're building. It ain't done until now. But every year that goes by, the price keep raising. Every single year, millions of US dollars. The price keep going up. Them change couple zinc sheet. And the airport doesn't even have a parking lot yet. That is another contract. Got to come within a contract for another couple million US dollars. Them call the cost overrun. My gosh. Every time I pass through the airport or hear about that airport, y'all don't want to know what I just be saying to whoever around me. Some beautiful words just come out my mouth. And after that, I just say a little prayer quietly for Brassington, Jack Dave, and Patterson, and all the rest of them who was involved in that project. Patterson, they tell me $7,000 per truckload. They throw 1 million truckload there. And guess what? The sun there just next door. Like 3-4 minutes away.
Yeah.
The sand pit there down there. Man, at the time when they throw the sand, you could pay $7,000 and get a truckload till in Georgetown from the sand pit. This is the type of government you all have in this land. I remember when they announced that project, they started it at 138 million US. A Guyanese who built one of the airport in North Carolina tell me Glenn Lall. The man never know me. When he saw the newspaper article, the man called me and said, Mr. Lall, I built this airport. Send the picture and give me. It's in the Kaieteur news.
Yeah.
Send the picture of the airport. You got to see this modernized airport what the man built. And told me, said Glenn Lall, that airport we built, he can build for $15 million.
Wow.
And smile all the way back to America.
Wow.
You know how much Guyana don't spend on it?
Oh, Lord.
Not 138. He got past 165 million US. And if I ain't lie, before that finishing, I mean 200 million US.
Wow.
This is how these leaders developing your country. There is a debt sitting on all of we backs, you know, to be paid with interest, you know. I don't want to talk about the interest rate. I talked to the Chinese ambassador about it. You don't want to hear that story. Guyana is heading down the road. Guyana is heading down the road, not with 200 million project, Miss Harris, but with a 900 million project being led by the same players of the airport, the Skeldon plant, the Borbees Bridge, and many other projects in this country. You know who are the leaders? Vice President Jack Dale and Winston Brassington is two of them. And this project, this one, cost overrun. Trust me, man. Y'all have to find another term for this one. Because your children and your grandchildren will hold their head and bawl when they're done with this one. Listen to this one. The Mozambique government start a project just like the one we going into. And they start a project at 600 million US dollars many years ago. But when they finish the project, the price tag meet over 1.2 billion American dollars, which is double the original cost. You hear me, man? Double. The Mozambique government, they tell the people 600 and he meet double. Them population, them 30 million population is now sitting with a $15 billion debt. That's what the country owe.
Wow.
Over in Australia, them did a few projects many years ago too. And all their projects exceeded their initial cost by over 40%.
My God.
You got any idea what projects I'm talking about, Miss Harris? No, you don't know. I can tell you. I'm talking about a skyscraper to heaven that Jagdeo and Brassington plan to build. The only difference, Miss Harris, is that this road, the building, will end up in hell rather than heaven.
Sounds about right.
In Papua New Guinea, them also built a similar project many years ago. Them started off with a project cost, listen this one, Josh, at $8 billion. By the time they signed the contract, it went to $9 billion. Then it climbed from $9 billion to $15 billion when the construction was going on. And when it completed, Josh, it skyrocketed to heaven with a $19 billion price tag. You know, hear me, man? It started off with $8 billion, and when it complete, it ended up at $19 billion. That is what the government of Papua New Guinea did to its people. Papua New Guinea has a population of 9 million people, and them debt stands today at $10 billion.
Wow.
Wow.
When Angola began their project, them tell the population of 31.8 million people that the project will cost $3 billion. Josh, you want to hear the figure when them done build it? Or should I keep it back?
Tell us.
Tell us.
Tell us.
From the original cost of $3 billion, it ended up to $10 billion American dollars.
My God.
Wow.
You want to hear the debt of the country?
Sure.
Them 31.8 million people fetching a $20 billion debt. And guess where they borrow most of the money from? China. Yeah, man. You guys think these are Nancy stories, huh? Or you think I'm making up these things? Or you think it's fiction, Josh? It's real, Josh. It's staring you in your face. It's in your newspapers today. It's a lead story in the Kaieteur news today. Just Google everything. Everything I say here.
It's there.
And you will read it for yourself. Or you can also read it to Jagdeo and Brassington. Because we're going ahead with one. And they peg it at how much? 900 million. And Jagdeo, the financial guru who started off the airport with 138 price tag, now it will meet 200 million. He is telling us, that same man who started out the project at 138 that will be 200, he is now telling us the 900 million project ain't come go past $1 billion.
That's entertaining.
So I don't know what you gonna say, Josh, when it really start. I don't know if it's gonna start and when it's gonna done. But what I know, for certain, Josh, Guyana got $2.2 billion debt and growing with interest that we can't pay. You hear me? That we can't pay. And we might very well meet at $10 billion US very soon with this project they're planning to throw on Guyana. Josh, you notice You notice I haven't named the project? By now, it should have already been a household name. And I'm tired of talking about it. So I don't have to tell you the project. I'm not going to let loose that word out my mouth anytime for tonight. You understand me, Josh? All the information, Josh, all that information that I just spoke about, you know where it came from? Those are figures presented to this country through a study done by the Center for Public Integrity, an international independent body out of the United States. Them did a complete analysis of those countries and found out that these types of projects always end up in massive, massive cost overrun. The people said these types of projects does not come with huge inflated costs that put countries and their people to suffer. You hear me? It didn't come with that. The international body say that it is the norm, not the exception in these types of projects. You understand what I said, or you want to break it down a little more, Josh? What these people said just now, them said the estimated costs for these projects are never correct. And it always end up double, if not triple, the cost. And our vice president, this financial guru, can't name a single project in this country that he has done that was successful, in which benefited the people of this country. Now telling Guyana, this project encompasses $1 billion. And you know what, Josh? Excuse me? Many Guyanese going to believe you. Yeah, continue believe. And don't wake up. Don't open your eyes to see what these people doing to y'all and this country. They got something called ladu. What people as whole. I don't know it's a Hindi word. Me don't know the meaning. So don't ask me. Old people used to say, tell me Glenn, you go whole ladu. But I know. That is the exact thing all Guyana go whole if this project got through. I'll end this program without even calling the name. It's time y'all keep y'all head on, man. You hear me, Josh?
Yes, sir.
It's patching them roads they're talking about, boy. Man, is everything they buy. Josh, them inflate the price to thief. Everything they sell, they give it to their friends or their family for next to nothing, robbing us of the true value of the assets. Now your oil, them telling you, them can't renegotiate the contract, the exam contract. But they will change all the other small mud flat contracts. Yes, the ones that got the cackabelly fish inside. The one with the gilbaka, trout and snapper, tuna and so on. No, the exam pond, them ain't touching that one. Josh, you got a little more space in your head?
Yeah, man.
Good. That same international body found out that Mozambique was paying millions upon millions of US dollars in bills that was submitted to them by the oil company that was unrelated to oil operations.
Wow.
That was revealed by an audit done on the expenses that the country was handed. They found out that the oil company took out $100 million US dollars from their oil money. And it had nothing to do with the oil operations. How you like that? You paying a bill, me paying a bill when I got nothing for the Kaieteur news. You hear that? So this body is warning Guyana to take note. as to how oil company just scan you from every corner in the sector. My Trini friend used to tell me, Glenn, oil people have a million ways how they can rob your clothes off your skin. I wonder if our leaders paying any attention. But Harman did say, I'm doing the right thing. He hate me first. But now he realize I'm doing and saying the right thing. Josh,
Yes.
Josh, them would supply the devil to Jack Dave and Harman and send the bill saying it's oil expense. That's how bad these oil companies are. And the international body is saying not only the inflated bills coming your way, but you must look out for bills that has nothing to do with oil that they're throwing at you as oil expenses. You hear me, Josh? You want to hear how Mozambique recovered 100 million?
Yes, please.
They had to go to court.
Wow.
Forget it back. We leaders don't even know how to check or verify how much sand the Chinese threw to upgrade the runway at the airport. Mac Patterson tell me how much? $7,000 truckload. When they stand there 5 minutes away. Oh my. I feel sad for Guyana.
But the free sand is 5 minutes away too.
What y'all think? It's only getting 300 and 400 million dollar a year, Josh. What do you think about that? You know why you're getting that? That is what Jack Day was telling y'all to live within your means and don't expect any money for quite a while into the future. It's because of those inflated bills them throwing at you. The bills won't even belong to the oil operation they're throwing at you. And who's checking them, Josh?
Nobody.
Jack Day or Harman? Nobody. Remember, I tell you, all Trinidad had over 38,000 people working in the oil sector.
Yep.
They had people checking every single one of those bills. The international body tells Guyana, them check over 40 countries and found out that was massive corruption, inflated bills that doesn't belong to them. They find it in Indonesia, Alaska, Ghana, Kenya, Timor-Leste, and a number of other countries. They found out that those countries were losing billions of US dollars in expenses that does not belong in the books, in the audit books of the countries. They said they found personal interests spending money for the executives, spending money to train foreigners. They're duplicating invoices for goods and services all the time. And all the money is going in and the country has to accept it and pay it. So the people say Guyana should ensure that they do not fall victim to these type of abuses that hurt government's share of profits. The people warning us, be careful, watch out these things. The organization said, Josh, you must audit, you must check their books, their costs, their expenses every year. Don't let 1 year go by. Here we're Guyana checking now. Since before 2015, Exxon gave you a bill for 460 million. That is what they audit. And they do another audit for $1 billion from 2015 to 2017. And we ain't see that, we ain't see nothing, we ain't see the findings yet. Nobody ain't say a word I you know that report is unto now. Wow. Wow. I am not talking about 2018, 2019, 2020 and 2021 bills yet, you know, man. Those are, and the bills that is coming. I just tell you 2016 and 2017. So I don't know when we can check these bills. Wow. And bills keep coming in every hour of the day. Guyana, you're a beautiful country. You got beautiful people in this land. Good in the sense of nice people. People who got good hearts. But your leaders, them, I don't know, something is wrong with them. God bless Brasington. Mr. Ali, Mr. Jagdev, Mr. Harman, and Mr. Granger. God bless all of you too, Guyana. Have a great night. If, Josh, if this is not enough, why I say here tonight, to bring this country to a halt, if this is not enough for every one of us to go to the parents and grandparents' home of our leaders and explain to them what the children is allowing the Guyanese people, allowing to happen to the Guyanese people and our future generations, then I don't know what else I can say or I can do to help bring this thing to an end. Like I said, corruption is worse than any disease on earth. You know, Mahatma Gandhi said, corruption is like a disease that eats away at the foundation of people's faith in government. Mahatma Gandhi said that. I hope the politicians take note of that. When you guys can continue doing business this way with the people's wealth and they can eat and have a good life, remember Gandhi. He said, it eats away at people's faith in government. And you know what happened? And I think you guys love power. If you want to maintain power, correct these things. Please. God bless all of you and namaste again. And thanks for listening. Josh, you got any telephone call?
Just a reminder, they can call us this
The phone
evening.
lines is open. You can call us.
226-7453 and 226-7454. Those are the numbers you can connect us on this evening on
Josh,
the
I
Glenn
think I
Lall
said
Show.
Enough there, man.
Yes, you did. And of
It's
course,
enough.
622-2222. For those of you who
It's enough.
might want to message us, you can feel free to do so as well. You have a call on the line? You have a caller? Okay.
I have one here.
Here, 1 second. Let's take this one.
Good evening, sir. You're live on Kaieteur Radio. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're live on Kaieteur Radio.
Hello?
Yes, hello? We can hear you. You're live on the radio. And, hello?
Hello, Glenn. Good evening.
Good
This
evening.
is Jorge, a friend of Guyana.
Yes, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
How are you? This is Jorge, a friend of Guyana.
Yes? Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Before
I want to...
before you say anything, I just want to tell you that Chile, the Chilean president the Chilean president just
I want to ask you something. I want to make a comment.
go ahead.
I was listening very careful of your words.
Go ahead. Maybe this call is not coming through. It's not coming through. But I was this gentleman called me. I think out of the U.S. I just saw and I plan to talk a little on it. I just saw the Chilean president commission a plant, an electric generation plant.
How much?
Hmm?
How much?
Yes, sir, you're live. Hello? Hello? I'm not getting through to you.
Maybe you can send a
Yeah.
voice note. And we can just play it and
Yes,
respond.
yeah.
I had an observation actually. The countries that you mentioned where these costs tend to overrun, there are all these developing countries like ours, the Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, the rest of them, Mozambique. I wonder if it's the same issue in countries like the United States, the UK, Canada, whether they have these massive cost overruns for projects, infrastructural projects that they might have commissioned. What's your kind of comment on that?
Well, the studies the international group did, they only put out reports on what they found and where they did it. Excuse me. Certainly, this type of cost overrun does not happen in developed countries,
Yeah.
because the rules, the policing they put on these projects,
Yeah.
it can't happen. They leave no room for corruption and skullduggery.
Precisely.
But here, our leaders knowingly know that this will happen.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I would like ex-President Jagdeo or Mr. Harmon to tell Guyana, to come on this
Yes.
program and tell Guyana one project that they're proud of that they did that really benefit this country.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that they deliberately set about to mislead and to put us in debts
Yeah.
with projects for themselves. Because they do, most of these projects they do, trust me man, they get something out of it. Most of the projects.
And
Every
it's
road
like,
project. I told you guys they did my road in my street, in front of my street, and skip about a third of it. And the contract sum was paid. That's another way. When they don't give you cost overrun, they skip the work. They get paid to do one full street, but they patch the street. They dig up 3/4 of the street, do that, skip the portion, and just throw a little bitumen over the old one, and they're good to go.
Yes.
So in actuality, that's how they rip you off.
Yeah.
They find ways. There are many ways to bring cost over on a project.
That's
to
the
rip you
next
off.
thing. The other thing is that I think people need to realize corruption is a complicated thing. And one of the other ways that these governments tend to get away with it is by underfunding the institutions that are supposed to be there to keep track of bills and to audit things. If you don't get
Hello?
the money,
Hello?
Yes, sir.
is he there?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not
Yeah,
getting it.
if you don't fund the organizations that are supposed to be the watchdogs to look over these things, then that in of itself is a part of the corruption. Because you can't have an agency that has a mandate to do X, Y, and Z, but they don't have enough staff, they don't have equipment, they don't have adequate funding or the means to actually carry out their jobs. So that's another thing that I think people need to look at in terms of looking at how corruption manifests.
Good evening, sir. The gentleman's trying. One gentleman. You have any phone calls there, Raj?
No.
So everybody sleeping?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
How are you, Glenn? Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead. You're live.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead and speak.
Man.
Take the call. See if we get the calls. Take it here.
Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
My,
Good evening. This is Glenn Lall show.
my
Yes, it is. Go
concern,
ahead.
beside of what you were
Good
talking
night,
about,
Mr. Glenn Lall.
Tell him to hold.
1 second. Hold 1 second.
Yes, go ahead.
my concern besides the
Hello?
economical impact on this project is the
All right, take that call.
Yes,
Take
caller, good evening. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Hello? We lost him.
What is it with the technology tonight?
226-7453, 226-7454. Caller, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Mr. Lall, I would like to know if this contract would have have an expiry date. And if it have an expiry date, well, don't let it renew it till they fix it properly. And another thing, the thing is not local content, is local must contend. This is what they're telling people. Local must contend, not local content. And Javier said that we must live within we means for a while into the future, but he ain't living in he means that his salary big and his pension heavy. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night. The contract is a lifetime contract
Wow.
until the oil is finished. But let's say, hypothetically, that we don't get a contract. We don't get them to say we want renegotiate a contract. Maybe we gotta give them paiwari, and then that might spur them to tell Exxon let's sit down and renegotiate. But let's say we don't get the contract renegotiate. There are many ways we can hold them, we can squeeze them, we can ring them to bring in money into the contract into this country. But they're not even doing that. Like I just said on the program, we have ExxonMobil is set to take out 42 billion American dollars out of our oil by 2024. Listen to that in the next 3 years. Out of that, when they don't take out their investment, their loans, and take out the cost, they are walking away with almost 39 billion out of that 42. So basically, it's 3 left in with us. And I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. That 39 billion that they will be walking away from, that is what we didn't check. 3/4 of that is inflated bills. So that is one way how we can check with things on a daily basis and make sure that we rake in money. But if you don't check, you have to pay the bills. Okay? If we demand taxes, that can change. That can bring in billions. Suriname getting 36% taxes alone from every barrel of oil they sell. So if they sell a barrel of oil for $100, $36 US dollar right away belongs to Suriname. Guyana choose to say, Tratman say, I don't pay tax. But these are things that can change, my friend. Leave the contract, and if according to some people that I don't agree with, they say it can't change, I am saying it can change. But there are many other ways in which we can really claw back big money through this oil. But nobody doing anything, nobody's saying anything. Hence I ask, what else do we do? This country should have been at a halt. It's over 100 programs I've done. I've explained to you people what is happening and what can happen. And I'm hardly hearing from some of you. So there are many ways for us to rake in money, man.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Talk to me, sir. Talk to me. We're live on the air. Let's get going.
Okay, I wanna talk with Mr. Lall.
Talk to me, man. Let's get going.
All right. I think I was listening to Mr. Lall, and I think he's right about his concerns about the monies and the investments and all of that. But there is only one way to get rid of that contract. It's the environmental impact. You guys need to have a partnership with one of or two of the biggest environmental organizations around the world, because today they are destroying the environmental and the ecosystems in Guyana. That's the only way. The rest is going to be very difficult. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think the international bodies are helping too. They're fighting their own fight. Because we have carried a number of stories in which they're not satisfied. They're not even satisfied with the gas ashore project.
Yeah, no, the gas ashore project it's crazy. But from the beginning, what I said, I had meetings with the EPA, and to get the permissions and the permits to start the oil drilling, you need to have a full impact on the environmental from the EPA.
Yes.
I asked for those studies. They don't have it.
They don't
you need to have an international EPA because they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. Since 2016, they've been having oil spills by drilling. They've been having methane to the air. They've been flaring, and they keep doing it. Mm-hmm. They are saying that the gas ashore project is a clean project. That's not true. What is true is that you're going to have lower emissions on the CO2. Dioxide is lower. That is true. But in terms of methane, it's huge. You're going to destroy the ecosystems. And that's a reality. Guyana is so rich in ecosystems. You cannot put chemicals that it will unbalance the whole coast of Guyana and will impact the whole region from Venezuela to French Guyana. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying you guys need to receive international help. You need to get a hold of the EPA here in the U.S. You need to get in touch with the Greenpeace. Mm-hmm. You need to get in touch with the plastic organizations that they are behind the production of these oils, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult. You're going to get rid of the contract, go to the environmental side of this contract. That is the only way to save Guyana. It's the only way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just for that, callers aware, we have had challenges. Well, a challenge currently in the court. So remember,
Yes.
Melinda Janke, she
Yes.
filed papers based on the environmental protections in the Constitution. Say that we're supposed to protect our environment and preserve it for the next generation. So I think that should be like a really good avenue to pursue as well. We need more of these challenges.
Yes, that has been challenged in the court.
Mm-hmm.
You're correct.
Yes.
By Melinda Janke and others.
Yeah.
But ExxonMobil document that they presented for this gas ashore project, in it, they wrote it themselves. Yes. I talked about it. I will report it on it too, right?
Yeah.
That it is deadly. Mm-hmm. It is dangerous.
Yes.
It's harmful.
Yeah.
For our echo and seabed and everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes.
Right?
And
but our leaders still hugging it.
Yeah. The next thing that's quite funny is that these environmental impact assessments are conducted on behalf of the company, right? So the company would get a firm, and it's usually like one or two that we have in this country, and they give them the directions to put this document together.
Yeah.
So then they usually classify the risks according to their standards to
Exactly.
basically get permission to do this work. So they recognize that there are issues, and there are likely to be issues within the projects, but the way that they classify the risks, to me, isn't really fair, because they're always going to make it so that it's not so bad, so that the company gets permission.
No, my dear. No. It's spelled out very clear in their document. They just put it in a little finer writing for your eyes don't see.
Yeah.
Because remember, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
God forbid, you have this disaster in which millions of people can be affected. They're basically taking themselves out, recusing themselves completely, and say, listen, this is the document we hand to the government of Guyana,
Yeah.
and they accept and agree.
Yes.
So the risk, they're actually taking themselves out
Taking
of
themselves
any
Exactly.
risk
Correct,
whatsoever.
correct. Yeah.
Precisely.
Throwing everything on
Yes.
these morons we have for
Yes.
years.
And they don't
And
see
they refuse to even talk about it.
Yep.
Much less doing anything about it.
And the EPA just proudly publishes it on their website, and it looks as though we've done everything that we should do,
No,
we should have
that's not
done,
so. That's
and
not
it's
so.
so far from the
That's
truth.
not so.
Yeah,
If you read what ExxonMobil document says about the project, them actually telling you no, it's not good for Guyana.
yeah,
But our government, Jagdeo and Brassington, them running ahead with it. And guess what? Patterson and Harmon them sit down in the corner saying, Patterson said when he had an interview with Melinda Janke, I am proud to say I championed this project. I'm like, and when Melinda done with it, when you look at his face, you want to know if this man,
Melinda would have handled
she
him.
handled him like a little child.
Of course, because him saying that says that he is not aware of anything. He probably hasn't read the document.
Exactly.
And for him to be able to say that, you could not have read
Yeah.
the document, because the
Yes.
document itself, as much as they've sugarcoated it, the document still says this is bad for Guyana.
He sounded completely foolish
Precisely.
when he said, I must say I championed this project.
So you champion
And I am like,
the destruction
this
of the
man for
country.
real?
Yeah.
But when I looked how Melinda handled him,
She would
I
have
am like,
handled him
I
nicely.
felt bad for this
Yeah.
man. I really felt bad for him. When I watched his face, his jaw dropped, everything dropped. He had no answer, he had no comeback.
Precisely.
You know?
Yeah.
Man, God bless you guys, man. Josh,
Yes.
you don't want to take a good year and thing, or you have more calls there?
No, I don't.
You gotta open both lines.
Yeah, both lines are open. 226-7453 and the 226-7454.
It's sad. It's sad.
It is
What's
very
happening
sad.
to this country?
It is indeed. We have a caller. Caller, good evening and welcome.
Very sad.
Hello.
Good night.
Good night to you. Hi.
I would like to say a pleasant good night to Mr. Lall and
you.
all the work that he's doing.
Thank you.
First, the beginning, the COVID-19 money, the grant, was not shared properly.
What's that?
The COVID grant, the 25,000 grant, was not shared properly.
My sister, please hold on the line.
Yes.
Don't tell me about COVID-19 and COVID-20, baby.
I
Don't do me this thing, my buddy. I show you guys how you're losing $1 million a day.
imagine.
Come on, man. Not tell me about
I
COVID-19
get-
2 cent and sharing
I-
properly. Don't do this to me, please. Please,
No,
don't do
but-
this, man.
But then again, people don't have a house. They're renting house.
I
What
understand.
happened?
I understand. This is why you have to come out and join the protests. It's coming soon. So you can
Yeah,
get
but
$1 million a
Mr.
day. So that you can build a house within 3 months. And a fancy house.
Bernard.
A mansion too. If we only
Mr.
correct the things that the leaders not doing anything about.
But Mr. Bernard, oh my God, what happened to all the women and those who do not have somewhere to go?
Oh, baby, you asked me such a tough question. That question should be asked to the leaders of this country. You need to, when you see them, shout in the face and say, what happened to us, bro? what's going on.
Imagine Ramadan was on and he's a Muslim.
Yeah.
He is a Muslim. Irfan Ali.
I hear you, girl. I feel for you too. I feel for you. I feel for many Guyanese, what they're going through, the conditions under which they're living. I went and I shared some hampers.
And I didn't get any.
Last year, and I saw the conditions in which people live in under. It's horrendous. Terrible. And we got so much. We have so much. A matter of fact, I saw ore. The ore that the Chinese taking out for Matthews Ridge. I saw only this morning the price went up for that.
Imagine I got so much things to do and I don't have any money.
It's sad, eh? Yeah, the woman is saying she has so much to do and don't have any money.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, I have a cook.
Do you need a maid?
She gave me breakfast 2 days ago. And when she bring the breakfast for me, I asked her about her son. She have a 26-year-old son that she left in Venezuela. He died. She said they tell her it was COVID. But when she went over there, it wasn't COVID. He died from pneumonia. And they had no medication in Venezuela. And she went and buried him. She tried to sell her house. She had a beautiful little home there. Very beautiful. And the offer they gave her was $3,000 US. And the person wanted the fridge, the stove, the chair set, the beds and everything in the house for $3,000. Plus she said she have a small van. Everything for $3,000. She said she left it and come home back. Come home back living in a little apartment. She husband and a 19-year-old in a little apartment at Parfait Harmony. And she said 1 week after she come home, her father died. Her father died, and she began crying. And she said when she came back from the son's funeral in Venezuela, she brought her mother because her mother was left.
You?
The mother was
left. You?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn, imagine.
She said she brought back her 26-year-old. The mother that was living with the 26-year-old in Venezuela. And she have nowhere, the place she living, she can't put her up. So she have a sister in Diamond. So she sent the mother by the sister in Diamond. And she began crying. I felt so sorry for her that I couldn't even eat the breakfast. You understand? I'm now trying to see how we can help. How we can help her get somewhere comfortable. So this is the kind of living, this is the kind of life people living in this country. And our leaders, they behave, their actions, their attitudes, it's like they don't care. They have no love for you people. That's how they're behaving. They're going and borrow loans every day for in debt or more. It's sad.
It is sad.
God bless you all. Thank you for listening and have a great evening, all of you.